Gentlemen, and maybe ladies, if you're foolish enough to stumble on here, it's on, all right? So this is just gonna honestly, I don't know why I did this. This is a complete impulse thing. In the last like 5 minutes, I made a decision, typed Spitball Stream 1, which I don't know why I said one, because there probably won't be a second one. Like, even I know that right now. But realize I've become an impulse streamer. Also, every single time that viewer number increases from 0 to 1 or from 1 or whatever number to a bigger number, we know that someone's gonna hop on. "Where the fuck is his hair?" Leave immediately. But I'm hoping one person can get on and we can talk about something. But, I'm feeling pretty happy. It happened. There it is, right there. Hello? Yes, I know. My name's Peter. I'm new here. I've never streamed on here before in my life. Whoever that other fag was, Brian, he's out of here, right? And of course, I'm not him. We look completely different, obviously. So, with that said, you gained plus 10 points Asian. People, okay, there are some people over here who have said that I look more white. I look like a skinhead. I look like I'm going to lynch somebody. And then dudes over here, sometimes the two people is the same person. In fact, I watched a movie with somebody who was like, on the internet, you seem way more white. In real life, you seem way more Asian. Everybody, make up your minds. I've like counted everybody, and it's like half and half. So, just like me, but it's hard to tell whether or not I look more Asian or more white. I guess it just depends on how open my eyes are. So, yeah, I know, right? I look like a monk. I've been going to work, and I've been bringing the Chinese gong. And oh, you best believe people really get that monk aura from me whenever I hit that gong with the head that I have. I should show up. I should just work in a bathrobe. That would work. What's up? Doing all right. Oh, she was sick. That's why. Just somebody wasn't able to catch Monday movie night with me, and they say they were sick. Yeah, right. No, I'm sure they were sick. My condolences. But what's up right now? I'm working on a new video. Um, I've been just really down in the dumps, and I really do miss just engaging and interacting. So that's what I'm trying to do. And other times I would flop on my stupid face because I'd be too busy just being preoccupied or exhausted or worried. And I am exhausted right now, but exhaustion matters not. You see, mind over matter. Or, I mean, exhaustion is within the mind. So mind over mind. But check the main channel because that channel is going to be a lot more active than this channel. I know I'm just riding on the high of surpassing Eli again. But unfortunately, that high will have to last either forever if Eli stops being a dope, or if he keeps being a dope and keeps making content, or if he is, if his channel flops, if like the only thing that was keeping him going all these years was knowing that he'd surpassed me. And then when I just rebounded him, when the Godzilla YouTuber shouted out the paper streams, if that just killed him and he just gave up entirely and he's just not checking my channel anymore, I don't know. But it seems like either way, I don't need to pay attention to any of that anymore. This is a whole throwaway thing. This is not going to get me subs. In fact, I made this as unmarketable as possible. Nobody gives a fuck about a word like Spitball. Like, who's going to watch that? And then thing number two, like, come on, a thumbnail farting. No one's going to watch that either. So in every way, this is a unmarketable stream. Oh yeah, and I'm also like, I just look terrible. So, you know, my goal is to try and balance the seesaw, make it a little more even by just going on Kerr Productions. I keep forgetting who all you guys are. Who is this guy? Well, Kerr, hello, nice to meet you again. I'm sure you. I need to think about: have I met this person in real life? What does he look like? Is he like old or something? Because I've had multiple interactions with people, and it's like revealed to me they're like a 36-year-old man or like a 57-year-old guy. This is not the majority of my audience, but I get surprised sometimes. I'm me. Holy shit, what a coincidence. I'm me too. I like that. It's a good quote. So that was a quote from I was watching that whole expose, the very famous expose video by YMS about Kimba the White Lion. And it's his giant, excuse my burp, 2.5 hour expose about how everybody just accepted as knowledge that the Lion King, famous movie, you may have heard of it before, ripped off this, poor, innocent indie Japanese cartoon called Kimba the White Lion. And I think the actual controversy is less important than what people did about it, because I think like everybody knows that people just accept scattered and inaccurate information as self-evident. But what's super concerning to me is that people without it, like people will still do it. And I feel like showing the internet just them fucking up, like just showing the internet an example of just them doing unto themselves what everybody says they are doing. I feel like just showing an actual example is the best way to show it. And everybody, well, like you can go into the video, you can even see the evidence presented by YMS for the Lion King ripping off this old 1960s cartoon and see how it's believable. You could really track in your brain the steps you could make to intuit that this assumption of plagiarism is correct. But then he explains away every single controversy and shows like that it's not the case at all. There might have been individuals, maybe one out of 200 dudes who was working on the cartoon who saw it and thought it was kind of cute, but all in all, it was an original idea. And it got so blown out of proportion. And now the internet as a whole, before the video came out, accepted it as common fact that plagiarism occurred because there's a stigma of evil white corporation guys being evil. As a skinhead, I probably sound terrible. I probably look terrible saying this, but just this whole stigma, just because, you know, little poor foreigners over here making something 40 years prior about animals in the jungle doing stuff. And then Animals in the Jungle Doing Stuff, the movie comes out, and it's completely different morally, content-wise, craftsmanship-wise, but people don't care. They don't watch the prior source material in question. They just accept it as self-evident that plagiarism occurred when it didn't. So that's very silly. The video was very interesting because, I mean, people consider it unwatchable. Some people with, you know, the attention spans of a goldfish, but I personally found it really interesting because when I was just watching this thing, I was honestly fascinated because it reminded me, like, whenever I watch these very wordy videos of YouTubers just going through logically point by point, zooming in so far that if you were to isolate one point alone, it might seem pointless. But zooming out, you realize there is a big manifesto, and it sums up to this whole thing was blown out of proportions. What is the grand point made out of? A bunch of small points. So the grand slam and, you know, takedown of somebody's big point is by looking at each small point that comprises the bigger points. So, I mean, you can say, oh, you're just upset that this one little thing was out of place, but it's like everything's out of place. Many small things, which amounts to a gigantic amalgam of things being out of place. You could always wear wigs now. I don't know, man. For one, it's itchy. That's actually the reason I shaved in the first place. I just didn't like all the fucking hair, all the heat, especially during the summer, all the bugs, all the crickets and mosquitoes just making nests in my hair. There's like a bird one time. It sucked. So I ditched that. And unfortunately, like here, just to give you an example, I shaved my head or more accurately, Jonah shaved my head. And you will see footage of it when this main channel video comes out. If any of you idiots, or if any of you are idiots, all right, sorry for accidentally attacking you, but if any of you have decided to be morons and have not checked out the original channel and you're on like this throwaway fucking channel that's not even that good, what the hell are you doing here? All right, if you're here, you better be over there too. So what did you do? Well, I don't know what you did, but if you haven't gone onto the main channel and subscribed, then what are you doing? You know, do it. Click the fucking subscribe button. But new video will be coming out. I don't know when, but soon. It's going to be also another big one. And if you have not seen, oh, I did because I'm the best. All right, thank you. I'm going to put you in at least 5th place. I'm estimating. I don't really know you, but actually, you have been coming onto the streams kind of consistently because I remember your name. If I didn't remember your name, that'd be bad news. But no, you're good. But yeah, to give you an example, I shaved my head 3 days ago, and I razored it too afterwards, after the fact. Now, you're not going to see that on footage because I did that after, you know, because I had the fryer haircut and I lost my razor. Some fool stole it. Some homeless guy probably had some extra pubes he wanted to shave off, and he took that razor for his own purposes. It was gone for like 10 minutes. How in the fuck? How does someone just steal a razor that quickly? I'm telling you, man, LA is influencing San Diego negatively. But what was it? 3 days ago, I razored it off. There's 0 hair, and it's hard to tell because the quality of this camera's terrible. Let's zoom in. You see? You see the length of this? I know this looks terrible, but, like, look at that. I mean, that's nothing. I'm basically bald right now, but there is hair there. There is hair right there. So, it'll be interesting because 'cause it's been only 3 days, and yes, I look freshly cut, but I razored all this shit off 3 days ago, and it's coming back. It's coming back fast. So in, like, a month, there will be no bald scalp to see. So enjoy it while it lasts. Um, I haven't in a bit. Yeah, I know. I haven't in a bit either. I haven't even clicked on my main channel because it's like a once in a blue moon type thing. But backlog of videos, a lot of it's pretty bad, and I refuse to delete it, but I think it represents, and I think it just is, a body of work I am very proud of. It represents a lot of effort, a lot of spirit, a lot of what you could call positive rebellion, you know, the best type of rebellion, where I am not just making hollow statements. I'm actually kind of giving myself the will to live because way back in the day, last decade, you know, kind of late, like 2018, 2019. I mean, I was such a stifled person. My parents wouldn't let me do anything that I mean, making stuff on YouTube was the only way. And now things have gotten a little more muddy, a little more strange because I think it's just it's weird because I now have everything I wanted when I was younger. Like life has bestowed upon me nearly everything I wanted. I am more well known, relatively speaking. I know I'm not even micro celebrity status, but like I never wanted to be that famous, but I wanted to be more well known. It was kind of my surface level want for just a little more, and I got more than a little more of it. Um, and I mean, I still got it, but I don't. I mean, it's just there's something in me that's still so dissatisfied, and I truly think that that is a like an inner self alteration thing that has to happen, where I need to I realized that, like, no matter what I woulda got in the last, like, 3 or 4 years, more like 3 years, I don't think I'd be satisfied. I'd find something to feel miserable about, and I've only been zooming in on that, and sometimes those feelings of misery are so inescapable. Um, and, you know, it's really weird. It's a really weird short-term thing because when it's happening, it feels like everything has always been shit and everything will always continue to be shit. And then, you know, maybe like a week, maybe it takes a week to go away. Sometimes my dry spells, my dry dopamine spells last that long. God forbid, but yes, it happens. It has happened not as frequently anymore. I've been in like a 3-day dry spell. Um, and normally during those, I'm just too exhausted to do anything. I'm just tired. My sleep schedule is bad. And then I kind of wake up at the very end of the night and then just do stuff really late at night, which then gets me even worse sleep. The cycle continues. So it's really strange why I decided to do this stream. I don't know why I'm streaming right now because normally for the last like 2 to 3 years, when I'm in this state, which I currently am, like I'm like having a really bad day/week right now. I normally am too exhausted or demotivated to stream. And honestly, right now, I can't really explain why I'm doing this or what I feel in regards to me streaming. But I have to acknowledge it. And what's interesting is I was like, hey, listen, I haven't been bald in a while. And back when I used to be bald, I mean, I look very different. So have I aged at all? I mean, through the lens of this terrible camera, probably not. But even in real life, like, I mean, I'm young, so I'm probably not aging that much. But like, I mean, until I'm in my mid 30s, I don't think you're going to see anything. So you're going to have to wait like 15 years for stuff to start happening. But um, has my hairline receded at all? Like, honestly, no. I mean, it hasn't really been that long. Maybe here a little bit, but honestly, that might just be the glare. I'm looking for any change. I'm looking for anything mildly entertaining. I really wanted a receding hairline, but I already know what my hairline is. So, you know, whatever. But I look generally the same. So let me see if I can find this because this is not on OBS. I'm gonna have to pull up my phone. It's gonna look really bad. But brightness is down, so hopefully you fellas will get a clear picture of this. But see if I can go way back. Yeah, my back scratcher review. Tears me up just to make this one. But we're going to be reviewing, I don't know the name of this company, that's why I'm titling it Shitty Garbage Company, their back scratcher.
what the hell is this? All right. Now, first off, all right.
Let's see, can I space it?
You understand, a back scratcher is supposed to be versatile. Reaching over the entire back.
We're not that different, man.
Full coverage. It's supposed to.
Brian from 3 to 4 years ago, you're not that different, you and I, or we're not that. Let me say that again. I fucked it up. Wait, we got to resume the video so I don't just pretend that previous take didn't happen. Take 2.
Right. Now, first off, all right.
Okay. Shut up. You're annoying. Hey, Brian from 3 years ago, we're not so different, you and I. But I mean, look at that. I mean, again, the lighting is even worse here. So you're seeing more of my nose glare, which I know looks very sexy. Thank you very much. Buzz cut TT. What does TT? What does T stand for? Testosterone. Thank you. I appreciate it. 30, maybe it'll bald a little. Another decade. I know, but already, guys. I'm getting impatient. My mother's dad, which I believe is where your genetic code for your hairline comes from, his hairline is so bad I have not seen it. He covers it up with a Star Wars fedora. So that's how you know that it's probably a bad sign for me. So people say I shouldn't have done it. They enjoy it while it lasts. Get the fuck out of here. But I was having I'm not going to say existential crisis, but I was having a bit of a realization when watching this video, because I opined on how I looked generally the same, except my voice was a little higher. And I promise you that was not on purpose.
A back scratcher is supposed to be versatile, reaching over the entire back.
He was pissed. That was a really bad back scratcher, by the way. In fairness, it was like 40 years old. So, I mean, we're not expecting smooth movement. I was mainly complaining about how it would extend and it would I think what I said in the video, and this is a direct quote, erectile dysfunction-ass behavior. Good one, Brian. But, I mean, it's true. It just kind of didn't work. It was a non-functional prostate-type movement that was happening. But after I was done looking at the surface level aspect of this, I started thinking about, like, okay, I'm watching these old streams popping in, yes, I am an egomaniac, yes, warning, but I mean, I have so many hours, like maybe an entire week. Like, you could watch all my paper streams and all my streams in general, maybe all my content on the internet, on YouTube, across these 2 channels for maybe 2 solid weeks with no breaks, and it'd still be going. And most of it is the paper streams, like 99% of that is the paper streams. And I'm thinking about that. Excuse me. And I'm thinking, like, hold on, I lost my train of thought. God damn it. Wait, hold on. Rewind. And I'm thinking to myself, like, streaming used to be so different for me back then. I used to treat it like, I don't know how I used to treat it, honestly. I used to treat it like something is not how I'm treating it right now, because half of the way I treat the internet is like obligation. It's like I haven't fed them, they're starving, when that's not true. They have other tubes to be fed from, like actual accomplished YouTubers who make better content. But I still have that feeling where it's like they've been really nice to me, or it feels like I've been given many gifts in the form of YouTube comments with racial slurs in them, but I still want to give back anyways. And it's just, and another part of it is also, I feel like it's truly me being dissatisfied with myself, because I have other ventures I'm doing. If you follow my Instagram, which I will put the username in there right now, because I am so hungry for expressing myself, I will plug the Instagram. It makes me look like a dope, but it's okay. But I am technically a professional jazz musician right now, and it's great, it's fine, but a lot of it is kind of, I don't know, it's not as fulfilling. I don't think anything medium-wise has been as fulfilling as me hopping in front of a camera and using my words to express the things that I think. And I've just been so neurotic recently that I just haven't been doing it, and obviously in order for me to express the more important things about world politics and Brexit and whatnot, I feel like I have to get this out of the way, where it's like, just why have I not been doing it? Which, not that that's a question anyone's, actually, there have been a couple people in comment sections, but really, most of the people who are true, like, enjoyers of the content or in high school, my high school classmates, they went over to the Instagram, and they're being fed tons because I'm just spilling shit every single day over there. It's mayhem over on the Brian Case the Non-Virgin Instagram account. That's the second name, by the way. It's the better name. It's just not as typable. It's I like it when I speak, though, or I like the username more when I speak it with my mouth. That's right. But I don't know. I reject the idea that I am getting too old for this or I've grown past it, which is what I've said before, actually quite recently, because uh talking and confessing with yes, they may be strangers, but they're still and or some of them are, but a lot of them still, stranger or no stranger, are people who listen and people who to a degree care. And that's such a special thing to me, and it really annoys me to waste it and just not do anything because I'm just feeling too miserable or too anxious or whatever, you know? And I absolutely despise talking about the fact that anxiousness exists within me. And I'm not gonna there is no diagnosis or anything like that. I am not a victim. I have that which many others have. I am not special. Anxiety is something that everybody has, but manifests in different ways. And unfortunately, with me, it has to manifest in the form of just not being productive. Some people are anxious to be unproductive, which kind of exists in me, but my response is to also be anxious at being productive. It's so fucking weird. But I mean, if you're not anxious, then who the hell are you? You're not a person. You're a cyborg. But it's so weird to me how that works in my weird, fucked up, occasionally his head. And I think it's a good thing that I'm doing this. So it's good because what I used to do is I would just mindlessly rant. I wouldn't be a perfectionist, you know. I wouldn't be like every single word I have to say has to be gospel, which obviously I never thought that. But hyperbole wise, like speaking in terms of hyperbole, yes, I truly believe that like if I would just be so judgmental towards myself, and I am still, and I'd be like, "Fuck, what? Why am I like? What are we doing here? Like, what?" I would have an existential crisis like every single hour of every single day. I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing?" So my entire life led up to me just being bald, sitting in front of a fucking camera behind a fucking green screen, talking about like, what was I? What's one stupid sounding thing I talked about today? Um, Wearing wigs. I think I talked about that. I don't even remember what I just talked about, but I'm not making this to be played back or be watched critically by judges holding up panels of numbers, you know? 10, 1. Sorry, Mr. Judge who doesn't exist and is entirely in my head, you know? Garfield. I talk about Garfield. Well, speaking of Garfield, I actually watched Garfield the movie today or tonight, whatever time. What time was it? Oh yeah, 6:30. Kind of evening, maybe. I watched Garfield the movie this evening. It's fucking awful, really bad. Uh, Parts of it were super lol, made me spit out my dentures, really funny shit. Can you put on the trailer? Can we not get copyrighted if we put on the trailer? But anyways, yeah, I actually think that this is a step in the right direction. I'm actually happy that I'm doing this, and I am honored. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because a fucking guy is texting me. But I am honored to have the attention of two whole people because that's greater than zero. And even if I had an audience of 0 on the computer, I still have an audience of 1. This guy, my greatest critic. You fucker, I hate you. I'm just kidding. I love myself on occasion. But Garfield the movie, in fact, I've been going crazy reviewing stuff on Letterboxd. Gave that movie a 1 out of 10. Uh, you know, there's a lot of things about the movie that were technically done right, but it was done in the most cliched, formulaic, annoying way, and the things that were done incorrectly were done so haphazardly. Like even the supposed unique animation, there was like glitches. There was parts where it looked like a compass learning like background, and it looked really cheap. Like if you think Illumination's cheap, I've heard people complain about Illumination Studios. Their whole big budget, not big budget, they're tiny budget. It's a big plan for a small budget. They like this microscopic budget. They still manage to kind of make it look good, but the more you pay attention to like character models and the fact they're reused, setting, you know, the backgrounds, it's just all so insanely cheap. It's not even funny. It's really depressing too, because formulas like that at large in cinema have not really popped up until the last like maybe 10 years. Excuse me, jeez. I'm so pissed about Illumination and Minions that I'm burping. It's actually like hiccups. It's weird. Yeah, that happens when I get agitated about Minions. But what was I even talking about? Garfield, thank you. Thank you, live chat from 5 minutes ago for reminding me. But yeah, the movie is, if I were to not be so darn silly and get super serious, I think that the content of the movie is so inconsequential and nothing that it is literally, you know what it is? It's I should have made that my review. It's like TikTok sludge content as a movie. It uses like these sound effects. It uses like the stock sound effects that you see in like the Black Hood reel videos of just like a black guy taking a shit and like maybe a boing or a fly buzzing sound effect. Like it has here, let me see if I can like
Expedia.
not Expedia, but just a bunch of stuff like that. Speaking of Expedia, which is an ad and a product placement, I mean, at least an ad is an honest product placement. Garfield had the most product placements in a movie I have ever seen in my life, which is honestly impressive. We should call up Guinness World Records and tell them to make a new record for this bullshit. Indominus Rex versus Rexy and JP3 Spino. That is another thing that I could talk about, except I would not. That would be a little harder because I don't know what that is. Indominus Rex, I think I watched Dino Dan as a kid. I think that that's probably a type of dinosaur. Super Sleuth Brian over here. Rexy is the name of a Toy Story character. Thank you. I'm cultured. I know my shit. JP3, it's probably a video game. And Spino, excuse me, that's a slang term. We don't use slang around here. All right, it's called a spine. It's the thing that my nervous system's contained in. Production says no. Was I a little off? Sorry about that, man. Was I talking about again? Garfield? Yeah, movie's bad. I mean, everybody knows it's bad, but I think the specifics on why and how it's bad is what people aren't talking about because it's scary. Like, it seems like an AI-generated sludge content, like hood reel sound effect, Instagram reel type movie. Like, every second of the movie was trying really hard to retain the attention. I feel like Chris Pratt wasn't even in the movie. They, like, just got some sort of AI of his voice and just kind of copied it. Because some of the things he says, like, I know actors sound dispassionate when they're phoning it in, but Chris Pratt sounds like he doesn't sound like a human being. That's how dispassionate he sounds. Like there is something about someone's voice when it's a human being that you can just tell. You don't need to look at timbre or, how much mic peaking there is. Like a person sounds like a person. A robot, it's almost there, but it's like 2% off, and a lot of people can just tell. A lot of people can suspect it. There's weird in betweens, like if someone's voice is altered, like if you have auto tune just kind of slathered on top of it, maybe you're reaching a situation where I guess you just can't intuit, and maybe Chris Pratt's really there, or maybe they axed him, maybe he's been assassinated. Maybe Jim Davis killed him, used his voice. Like the Terminator, right? He'd copy people's voices like a robot. I mean, this fear has existed since the 80s, for Christ's sake. But I mean, it's really coming true now. Robots can recreate any voice, any person, anything. So be careful. I mean, honestly, you have the people who are openly embracing it, which chill out, guys. And then you have another camp of people in the exact opposite direction. Bro is on to nothing. Sorry, I didn't get the guesses right, but hey, you got to admit, I'm onto something here with the AI thing. I know everybody's talking about it. I know it's like it's like on the level of Trump. Like everybody's heard about it, but I feel like an interesting angle. And my angle on this, which chill out, all right? Keyboard warrior, put down the sword, all right? Just fucking give it a rest. Let me say my piece first, then tell me I'm on to nothing later. But I personally think that those who are so worried about it being just like culture is due. No. The majority of people who enjoy content are going to enjoy content that's good. And the one thing that AI cannot replicate is that level of quality. I'm on to everything. Jesus, like your sister, Jesus, calm down, man. All right. Like, here, listen to the words I'm saying, process them, not like a robot, but like a person. And just think about it. If you're onto everything, all right, get your fucking prepubescent ass onto this, all right? I'm telling you, I think the people who are flipping out over AI being the absolute fucking just Armageddon of the human race. How did you know I had a sister? Like 35% of the human population has one. And most of the people who don't are like the people in China, right? They kill everybody after the firstborn, all right? So statistically, we're in America over here, right? Land of the free. Most likely you got a sister. It's like Russian roulette times 2. There's 2 bullets in the chamber. I just so happened to get one. But I legit don't know you who are. Yeah, no, I'm totally stalking you. I'm getting you. I know who you are, man. I'm right outside your door right now. Knock knock. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, I just think that the one marker of quality, or no, what am I talking about? No, one marker, the one indicator of what is and isn't AI is if it's good or not. Like to me, I don't think that anytime soon AI will be capable of making something beyond the quality level of like the Garfield movie. Now, I could imagine the Garfield movie being made with AI. A movie like maybe Poor Things or Isle of Dogs being made with AI, implausible, cannot happen. And I believe that we will be the great filter before legislation comes in and moderates it, right? And obviously, you have stuff like piracy and things like that, where there was legislation, people figured it out. It still happens, and that's what people are fearful of. Like just the fact that it can happen, you know, even just illegally. Oh, you're actually there. I know. Hello. You look beautiful in real life, but like it happens still, but legislation makes a big difference. And when they find a way to legally moderate AI, which I'm sure will come down the road in the next 500 years, they take forever to do this shit, but they will eventually. I believe that we're going to notice that it's not that big of a deal, and people are, this whole AI Armageddon thing. It's not implausible, but I don't think it's as plausible as people say it is, because it's like some people yelling right outside my door. As a matter of fact, you pulled the reverse card on me. You're outside my door. Well, sorry, man. I'm busy streaming. I can't let you in. But hey, keep yourself occupied. Watch my stream outside my door while you wait. But I think that people will continue to notice how bad, hollow, dispassionate, sharded out, corporate, the AI generated movies would be, hypothetically, if people's predictions are correct, which I think it will. I think some companies will try. It's already kind of happening. Not at the degree that people think it is, but it is happening. But I think that it's when it happens, I think we'll be a lot better at spotting it than people think. Because surface level things that everybody on the internet loves to pay attention to, the look, the colors, even the sound, just the technical aspects of creating the picture or the auditory or visual experience. It's there. AI knows how to do it. They even know how to make somewhat coherent storylines, but the human element, the passion, formula for story structures aside, we know how to spot the imposters. We are humans. Nobody knows humans better than humans. So when a human product or an inhuman product posing as human is out there amidst human products, I believe we will be able to truly spot what the bad ones are. Not just the bad ones, the ones that aren't human. We are the great filter, and I think a lot more efficient than individuals within the great mind think we are. So message retracted. I was so fucking busy with my really messy thesis that I hope people understood, the 3 people watching this, if you're listening. I hope I wasn't being misunderstood. Like, I hope, like, that was a little muddy, but that came through as, like, I think that's an interesting opinion, right? I think that it'll probably happen. It'll probably be really annoying, and I do think that it'll result in a bit of a dark age in art and culture, especially cinema. There will be a decline. There's going to be a definite decline in quality amidst all these different movies. But throughout all that, no, amidst, that's the right word. Amidst all that, I think we should focus on the fact that, like, we're still going to spot when it's happening. We're going to pan it. It's going to be just critically panned. And there will still be many people. Like, people aren't going away. There's still going to be a lot of dudes and gals and nobody in between, because I believe in science. But there's going to be a lot of people and then individuals, all unique stories. And those stories, when it's in a movie, be it subtext or really fucking obvious, we will be able to see it. I think it'll be self-evident. And I don't think AI is catching up anytime soon. And by the time it does, we will have stepped in. British Parliament style with a bit of a delay, yes. We will still, that's way too bright. We will still have place some legislation to moderate it, and I think it's going to be fine. And throughout all of this, we're still going to get talented directors, artists putting their actual human product out there. So I think AI is kind of cool when applied correctly. I think that it should be moderated. I don't think it should be erased. I think that we can go back in history, have a big old hearty belly laugh at all these old products, all these old AI generated products, and go, that was weird. Imagine how scared we were of it. Imagine we thought in 1 year it's going to be fucked. 20 years later, we're fine. So I truly think we're going to be okay. Yeah. So, not that anybody here is fearful of it, but there are people out there. Did I see the robot dog with the machine gun? Oh, that's like a 10-year-old video. I think I've seen it. Is it like that headless dog developed by that robotics college? There's an entire college just dedicated to making robots. I mean, like, come on, man. You can find other hobbies. You can split your hobbies multiple ways, but whatever. That's just me. Robot dog with machine gun. Fucking now I wish I was on the online interaction chamber. I could totally just pop it up right now. What the hell is wrong with me? I'll do that next time. With gun. Yeah, that's the first thing that pops up. China's military. Wait. Let's chill the fuck out. Okay, it says China's military shows off robot dog with automatic rifle mounted on its back. That's 5 days ago. Okay, so no, the actual model, right? This robot dog thing. I've seen that before. The gun part, that's new. People have been talking about it being developed for like a year. I don't think I've ever seen it in person until now, so I might as well.
Totally awesome or totally frightening. Look at this. China's military.
Who paid off this fucking boomer anchor to say those words? I love the way he said that.
Has
All
released
right, let's go back.
Totally awesome or totally frightening. Look at this. China's military has released this video of a 4-legged robot marching through a field with an
Where is it?
mounted on its
There it is.
back. The Chinese state broadcaster calls it the newest member of China's urban combat operations.
It's going to be just like RoboCop. It's going to malfunction. It's going to do a 180. It's going to turn around. You know, all you got to do is just do some recircuiting, like just cut some circuits and rewire them. And you could program one of these killing machines to turn against its own army. You'll like battle over. We didn't have to raise a single one of our own guns. This fucking dog did it for us. I mean, obviously, it's just I don't know, whatever.
Bot dogs are programmed to conduct reconnaissance, identify enemies.
I mean, at least with a person with a gun, you have to do the hard work of being a good salesman and bribing them, or, you know, placing some sort of incentive. Maybe it's death or torture. You know, I'm going to tickle your feet if you don't turn your gun on your own nation. At least you got to put the hard work in to do all that. With this, I mean, you could just type in a 0 where there's a 1 in the code, and it's all over. That's a little scary, just a little bit.
And strike the target. If that comes around the corner, and if you're on the other side, you're done.
Yeah,
You're done. That's the whole clip. Who posted this? ABC7. I like how they clip. They're like trying to make TikTok content, but it's horizontal. You're doing it wrong. Suicide drones, is that a new thing? The hieroglyphs people are sending to me in the top chat here. Top chat. In the live chat. It says top chat because that's just what the thing says. Live chat, all messages are visible. Yeah, why does it set me to top chat by default? Make it live chat instead, guys. It's just live chat minus the most interesting messages, the ones with all the bullying in it. Why are you robbing me, YouTube? Robbing me of the coolest shit. I mean, it hasn't really, nothing's new. I mean, you guys are being super nice. Come on, guys, bully me so that, you know, it feels like I'm gaining something. I accidentally pinned that. I did not mean to pin that. I was trying to get rid of the live chat thing. I'll keep it pinned, but just know I have no outstanding personal feelings towards that. Kerr Productions goes bleep bleep blue bleep blue blue. I do not speak my own language. I am sorry. I know my mom's side of the family says I'm an imposter because I prefer to not engage. I don't like Asian food either. I don't like Asian food. I think the Asian culture is overrated. I think Asian attitudes are generally shitty. They annoy me. Obviously, not every single one, but in general, there is a kind of a stigma that Asians place on anybody that's not them. They're like the clicky. Imagine like the clickiest high school girl. That's just your average. That's your average Chinese family. They just huddle in a group, and if you're not with them, then there is no fucking chance you're penetrating that yellow shell. And I have been both within the shell and outside of the shell. In both instances, I have found it equally annoying. I'm like, why? What is the point? I mean, at least that's how my family operates, but I've seen it to be pretty representative of the Asian family thing. So shame on you guys. I do think it's interesting though. I think I talked about this on a paper stream a long time ago, but people might see this as a big generalization on these communities as a whole, but I stand by this wholeheartedly. I think that the Asian community as a whole and the Black community as a whole, chill the fuck out. This is what happens when I turn off my silencer to play a fart sound effect on the soundboard app on my phone. It just completely fucking just get out of here. That distracted me. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, right. I think that the Asian community and the Black community in general, the individuals within it, because humans are very different, but variety kind of fades away when you look at groups of people. Yeah, people certainly love to conform as a group rather than as individuals. But I think the Black community and the Asian community are opposites. And let me explain. I think that both communities, their experience is not identical, but when it comes to oppression, yes, I'll use that cursed word, but oppression at the hands of others, other groups of people, I think the Asian community and the Black community have historically faced very similar challenges of equal magnitude. If we're going to talk about magnitude of suffering, which I hate doing that, but it's a thing. I think that they have had the opposite way of responding to the same issue. And I think that's because of a lot of things, predetermined factors, their culture at the time, and maybe a slight difference in the conditions of their suffering. But I really do think it's pre-existing conditions on how these different racial communities were built. And here's what I'm going to say. Is my dissertation, this yellow v black dissertation. I think that the Asian community has responded to a lot of suffering at the hands of other races, be it the Japanese or other people, the British, right? By closing themselves off, walling themselves off, and denying the truth about their imperfections. Because often when you're oppressed as individuals or as a group, though the aggressors will, they'll shame you. They will take, be it physical traits or cultural traits or mental traits that are, I don't know, melded with the stigma of that community, and they will emphasize it times 11. And, that'll make them feel miserable. And kind of as different individuals have different responses to that type of suffering, I think the communities do too. And I think that the Asian community responded to it by being in denial, putting the veil over their heads and saying, this doesn't exist. We have rules, we have customs. They stifle themselves. And when they're truly being themselves, they're doing it huddled in their own communities and being extremely cliquey about it. So there's that. Now, I believe the Black community can be very cliquey, but in a very different way. The Black community is a lot more extroverted than the Asian community, and instead of denying their faults or the flaws of their communities and their culture, which every culture has its flaws before somebody clips this and puts this on Twitter in 10 years. Excuse my burp. I will say that I believe the Black community wallows in its own filth, which is equally as bad as what the Asian community does. And I think the Black community, they embrace how bad we deal drugs, we commit violence. The system worked against us from the beginning. It was inevitable. Whereas, specifically the Chinese community basically says, this never happened. We're not going to talk about it. We're proper. We're fine. We are flawless. There's nothing wrong with us. And there is still that superiority complex in both races, but they just manifest in these different, equally annoying ways. If I'm going to play it straight down the middle. Currently, right now, I mean, my attitudes fluctuate between the two, but I personally find the Asian community a little more annoying. There are other times where I'm like, but why though? It's like I'm seeing these activists on Twitter, these blacktivists on Twitter, and they're posting stuff along the lines of like, just me when a white guy tries to talk to me. No thanks. I'm like, but why though? Why? A lot of the people, Black and white, who are responsible for you being a free man or woman right now would totally not advocate for the bullshit you're spreading on the internet through your greasy fingers on that stupid fucking phone keyboard. And I mean, right now though, I'm less annoyed with them because honestly, I feel like the Black community as a whole is they've become a lot more accepting. I think it's just the pendulum swinging. And again, when we're talking about individuals, it's a lot of it's because of personal stuff, and a lot of it at large is because the culture. And when a black family or a black parent raises their kids, or when an Asian family, Asian parent raises their kids, they teach them lessons they were taught, and this happens en masse. The French word with the e at the end. So at large, you notice that zooming in might seem like one anecdote, but zoomed out, it happens because families teach their children lessons, and lessons are reinforced in big, big numbers throughout the culture. But I think that, yeah, I think that the black community and the Asian community they're very interesting to compare. And I mean, there's no actual official government studies on this, so it's kind of weird to like. I mean, it's technically there are aspersions I'm casting, but I think it's interesting to talk about. It's relevant. It's always relevant in this day and age when everybody loves talking about race so much. Um, but I think that if we are aware of these little things, these things that seem small, but they really those small things, one grain of sand out of place in the anthill, and it could go toppling down. Butterfly effect, right? I would call it anthill effect, but my anthill metaphor was really bad because that's not how anthills work. You can move a piece of sand, doesn't fucking matter. But you get the idea. Butterfly effect, right? Little things over time affect big things. I think that something like that might be a huge key to what we're noticing. What we're noticing in terms of just what individually these two communities go through, and when these two communities interact with each other, why those particular things happens. Don't get me wrong, I am no Asian activist, and I don't think anybody in the entire fucking planet has seen me as a, uh, black supremacist. I am for equal rights for blacks, as I am for everyone in principle, but a lot of people are kind of black supremacists in disguise, and obviously opposing white supremacy in principle is not the same thing as advocating for black supremacy. But in practice, it seems to be that way because a lot of the same people who are, saying that white supremacy is a bad idea are kind of in other areas, or sometimes in the same fucking sentence where they denounce white supremacy. They are in support of affirmative action, which I feel like has been mulled over so many times and people seem to disagree on the specifics of it. But affirmative action quite literally is accepting someone for their race instead of their actual qualifications, but in the opposite direction. And there is the claim that, oh, but it happens in the opposite direction in colleges because people are white and evil. And I'm like, yeah, but the way to respond with a big wildfire is not by fucking bringing a giant flamethrower in and, continuing to raise the blaze. It's like, sure, you might even it out, but then when will we scale it back? When do we draw the line? When do we have to acknowledge? At what point do we have to acknowledge that the blacks should be exposed in a critical light to the same degree that whites do, equality style or equity style. Equity is actually the more objectively correct term to use. But why don't we advocate for true equity? Because it just seems like a lot of people don't realize that they're advocating for black supremacy while they're denouncing white supremacy. And I fully denounce white supremacy entirely. But I also do not advocate for black supremacy. And I believe that part, it's a risque thing to say in front of a giant crowd of strangers, saying like La Jolla. But I will say it right here. I don't give a fuck who listens. Make sure to denounce all forms of supremacy, white and black. Don't just single out the whites. And don't you just single out the blacks neither. All right? Denounce supremacy as an idea, as an amalgam. And, don't just say that just to say it and then turn around and then only look at anecdotes of white people being racist, which exist. If you're going to look at white people being racist, there are also black people who are racist. I'm also going to actually, here's something I've never talked about. The whole thing that people like, there are people who are considering Karen, the term Karen, to be like a racist. Like they want to add the they want to add the term Karen to the ADL's website, like ADL's, the Anti-Defamation League's anti-hate website. And the people who are calling to ban a term like Karen and those who are reinforcing the term Karen in a certain way that they're doing it, I find to be, equally. Does the term curmudgeonly apply? Or curmudgeonly describes an old person. Hold on. Curmudgeonly Definition. Fuck. Well, no, especially of an old person, bad-tempered and negative. So it doesn't have to be an old person, but it generally is about an old person. Well, you know what? I believe that these issues truly go back as far back as time has existed. So this is a curmudgeonly attitude, a curmudgeonly shit attitude. Such a fun word to say. But yeah, I think that there are black Karens. Oh my god, hot take over here. You gonna say next that there's also white Karens? Yeah, I think there's white Karens. Yeah, there's Asian Karens. Oh, you bet your fucking ass. My mom is occasionally one, even though she's a great mom. But when she wants to, she can turn on Karen mode. And I am tired of people only saying that Karens are white. That's not a real thing. I believe that, yes, we can keep Karen a sexist term because I've never heard of a man named Karen until maybe 5 years ago when the trend started going up and people started mutilating their own bodies. But that aside, I do think that Karens exist in every race. I do not understand why Karen was used to describe a white lady. Now, Karen as a name often is not applied to other races of people. But I feel like people focus less on the name, the actual race of the name Karen. That's like an afterthought. Like it just so happens to be, a label that just does not fit the black lady because you assume her name is like Yolanda or something like that. When really the attitude of just entitled woman in her like mid-30s asking for the manager, women who ask for the manager in really irrational ways, people of all races do that. It's not just white people. So I don't think Karen should be just a white woman thing. I think it should be a entitled women in general thing. And there are also entitled men. We can call them like I don't know. We can call them Tonys. Yeah, Tony. Oh, I've never met a nice Tony. Actually, if there's anybody named Tony who I know who personally thinks I'm cool, don't worry, I'm not turning on you. I like you. I've always liked you. I am simply giving the first example I can think of an annoying guy name. Sorry you were the first one to come up. But yeah, Tony. Goddamn, every fucking Tony, man. Oh. But yeah, that's my thesis. I don't think Karen should be a white woman thing, even though the name, yes, it's European. It's European as heck. I think we should normalize black Karens, Asian Karens, brown in between Karens, other races of Karens, polka dotted Karens, maybe even a green Karen. I don't know. So just all different types of entitled women asking for the manager or throwing milkshakes at people because they looked at them wrong in a baseball stadium or something like that. Just party pooping women who just want to ram all of our parades. Is there like a male version of Karen? Can we look that up? Give me a second. Let's Google this. Male Karen. Jethro. That's what Reddit says. The male version of Karen is Jethro. That does sound really, really bad. Just imagining wearing Birkenstocks. Oh man, he has a fucking dirty man bun, maybe even dreadlocks with some bugs in it. He's not wearing a shirt. He's dirty. He has tattoos. He has like the pride flag tattooed on his belly button, on like the inside of his belly button, like a tiny pride flag. There's like a hole in like a cock hole in his shorts. Oh, yes. Fuck yes. Oh, that's Jethro, man. He's totally asking for the manager at the local Jamba Juice. Well, to all Karen Jethros of all races, chill the fuck out, all right? Your wage is high enough. You get paid too much money for your jobs. Is anybody complaining that is earning too much money? So, I don't know. Go to a shanty town. Complain more over there. I will see you on the next live stream. Think of yourself, and I am not coming out of this stream more exhausted than how I came in. I don't know what it means for the future. Maybe I'll just keep being exhausted and miserable in the future. I do not know. A bit of an awkward stream, growing pain stream. But if I can approach every stream the way I did this one today for 55 minutes, basically, I'm rounding up, that'll be great. So I'm just hoping blindly for a turning point in my life where I can just, because it really feels like I'm a person who went from knowing everything he was doing to knowing nothing about what he was doing. If you just look at the streams, like it doesn't seem that obvious. In fact, if anything, I sound less retarded now, which is really saying something. But me back then, oh man, I talked way too much and none of it made any sense. None of it meant anything. But I think in many ways, one, I need to slow down. Like I just get into a habit of talking too fast. And then it gets to the point where my brain naturally slows down. My brain fluctuates, goes up and down, up and down. And my mouth is just a lot less in sync with my mind than it used to be. Like, I think as time has gone on, just whenever my brain slows down, my mouth keeps going. And so I end up just saying filler. I'm just end up saying stuff that doesn't make any sense. Like there are actually sometimes in this stream right now where if it seemed I was restating a thing I already said, that was literally just me trying to regather my train of thought. I'm like, okay, I'm still talking fast. The muscle memory of my mouth is keeping me at the same speed. But am I adding anything new? And I don't even know if I am. And then I realize I'm not. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's just circle back around. And so I do. But fuck, man. And I feel like that wouldn't happen before because I would talk a lot slower. In fact, I wanted to accommodate people more by talking slower. And I feel like I was a little more accessible in terms of speaking. Nobody's on the stream anymore. But if anybody is, I'm going to ask this question into the dark black void. If I am saying something or if I'm speaking too fast, don't be a shy guy. Just tell me. Just tell me because I agree with you. I'm trying to like figure out ways to pace myself. And this is not even for presentation on the internet type thing. This is like living life. I think I'm living life too fast. I'm thinking ahead too much. I need to just take things bit by bit. And we're going to make it to an hour, by the way. So that's one issue. Also, I loathe myself too much. We need to chill that out. I think, before I can practice the art of self-love, I need to simply get rid of the hate in my head for myself. And I've been kind of doing that. In fact, this is the most I've talked continuously without despising the things I'm saying, like old times. I like it, I like it that way. Excuse my language, but I like it that way. And it's something that I experience maybe once a month, but I like after I do it, it feels exhausting. But for the first time in what feels like years, this is the first time in years that talking like this felt this way. Maybe it's the hair. My hair was weighing me down. I don't know. But sorry I had to get so serious out of nowhere, but whatever, cry about it. Because I'm not. Talked about it. I'm feeling better. And I feel great, honestly. I really do not care that 2 people joined. I'm tired of judging myself. I'm tired of judging those who judge me. I'm tired of being judged. Obviously, others will judge me regardless, but why do I need to add to that pile? I'm very judgmental. I need to chill out. So it was nice because this entire stream, I didn't feel judgmental towards myself or the thing I was saying at all at any point, which is, I think, the dictionary definition of confidence. So I'm happy that I'm confident enough to do this stream. It felt good. And hopefully if I can maintain this and do it regularly, fuck yes. I think it's the fact that I wasn't so ceremonious about this stream. This was not like an event at all. So it's just like a random, complete impulse decision. I was kind of riding on the high of editing my 2-part intro to my new video. So thank you. I don't know what I should title it. Let me think about this before I end the stream. Time for brainstorming. Let me think. It looks like we're going to fall asleep. I'm not, though. It's all good. But I don't want to call it school speech. Like, it has to be that perfect mix of something that doesn't feel like absolute all caps clickbait. Like, Content Con, that's just a funny name. And people click because they're curious. Like, what does that mean? But, I mean, what my video is a speech I made in school where I talked for like 13 minutes about blackface. And I set a picture on fire, which went against school code. But it's like the clickbaity title that's kind of my default right now is this speech in school got me in trouble. And I'm like, it just sounds like a Mr. Beast video. And I don't want to do that. I want to make it like a more unique title, like Content Con, blackface speech or something. I really want to include the fact that it was in school, like in the title. So blackface school speech. Now, it just seems like something that just wouldn't get, like, I also want to emphasize I did get in trouble after I made that. So I feel like blackface too will kind of alert the censors. I do not want to, when my whole Megamind Sermon 2 thing got taken down, like, for absolutely no reason. I mean, the Eli stuff happened, but their definition of what bullying was so loose And it was really hard to tell where they drew the line, and it's still hard to tell where they draw the line, especially because YouTube's just getting worse. So my approach to this is probably to, I don't know, man. I'll keep the word blackface out of it, and I'll just say the word. I mean, I've already said the word in the speech, so blackface is in the video, just not in the title. So school speech that got me in trouble. Some variation of that, if I can make it a little more catchy. The school or no. The speech that got me in trouble in school, that's probably the best we can get right now in the vegetabilized state that my brain's in, right? Imagine that as a YouTube title, right? I know what the thumbnail is gonna be. It's gonna be kind of, it's gonna be in 2 parts, right? I'll use the cutout tool, and I'll make 1, me setting the thing on fire, and then 2, me holding up a picture of, Judy Garland when she was doing blackface in the, 40s. So it was a turning point for her. She hated doing it. It ruined her innocence. She looked miserable. It was quite a crazy photo on the internet. If you look it up, look up Judy Garland blackface. If you don't know who she is, she played Dorothy on Wizard of Oz. And if you pay a close attention to Wizard of Oz, you'll notice that Dorothy was not doing blackface. So it was kind of a crazy, crazy transition into a different art form or a different medium of film when she was kind of doing the minstrel show thing. And yeah, she vowed to never do. In fact, it was like one out of many things that she, that made her tired of the entertainment industry at the time. She's like, I'm fucking done. What is this? What have I gotten myself into? So I think that'll do it for the stream for now. But yeah, I'm gonna make the thumbnail the Judy Garland blackface thing. I think I hold it up to where it's visible enough. And then 2, I can make my second part of the thumbnail the setting fire to the thing, right? Because the other big part was the drum kit part, and that's mainly auditory. So I mean that'll be for the rest of the people to decide. And I truly do not know if the speech was actually good enough to be made into a video, or if it will require more editing. I'm gonna have to do this is the most painful part of making good content videos. I feel like it's the main reason why I don't make them as often, because I just find the process of watching through the thing I filmed so painful. Because I know I'm gonna have to do more editing if it's cringe. Because the goal is to make it as I can be cringe here. This is the cringe hub, but on the main channel, the goal is to be as normal, not normal, but as well presented as the priorities of my video and the circumstances around the video will allow me to be. So if I just personally don't like something, maybe I should say cringe. I should say instead I don't want the video to be this way. If I watch a part of the footage I filmed, I'm like, that sucks. I don't want that on in video. That means I'm gonna have to do more editing, or I'll include the footage, but I'll have to gussy it up with something else to either distract or to enhance the video, if that makes any sense. So it's me just grinding my teeth, going, fuck. I don't know how long this editing process is gonna take because I don't know how good this shit actually is. Because I refuse to be lazy like I was with Content Con 2022. I don't want to just post blank footage and not really look over it. I want to do what I did with Content Con 2023. I want to put in the hard work of looking through it, fine-tuning it. Because, I mean, that's what I've been doing recently. That's why most of my videos, except for Content Con, have been 1.5 to 3 minutes long. Because, I can only do that with so much footage before I lose my patience. Which is why Content Con being a 13-minute video is honestly just, I don't know how I pulled it off. I don't know how my head didn't explode. But yeah, when making that video, it took a really long time. And I really just started grinding for that video. And I think it paid off. People don't really talk about it anymore because YouTube is really stupid. And if the algorithm doesn't favor your video, and it did my philosophy teacher song, then you're just it's not really gonna pay off too much for you. But I think it's having that video up, knowing I did it, is probably the best I got going for me. I still get a lot of people. I mean, it did get ample views. I mean, people still go up to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, I saw that. It was good." Lots of positive affirmation. That was great. But I mean, it's really just an inner thing. It's me looking at myself, going, "Okay, I did that. That's cool." Now on to the next thing, on to the next, looking through the footage and going, "Man, that sucks. I'm gonna have to the editing for this is gonna take 3 months longer than expected." Because I have to put the effort into fine-tuning it, because I refuse to post cringe on main right now. Only cringe only goes here, right here. Me saying the word cringe in of itself is cringe. So, if this was an actual good content video, I would be augmenting it with lots of editing tricks, and people would be seeing a different video. But there you go. That's how I want to treat this versus that over there. But I was editing the video, making sure that at least the intro was acceptable. And I was like, you know what? I'm pretty happy. I'm going to stream right now. And now I've streamed, and contrary to my expectations, I'm even happier after the stream. I'm just so fucking happy I did this, which I don't think I've ever felt with a stream in a long, 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 long time. I don't know what it is, but I'm just feeling fucking great. So thank you very much for watching. I will see you on the next whatever, whenever. Don't know. Maybe a year, maybe a day, maybe something in between. Probably something in between. And I will see you on the next thing, stream, video, 50 Shades of Grey pornography remake movie that gets released on Pornhub that, of course, I star in. Yes, I'm a porn star now. True story. And make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. Till next time, this is goodbye. And stream 3, 2, 1.